Previously on Redbeard's Garage.
Can I use your hammer?
So this is a 150 rear shock, and then this is the 150 front shocks that we accidentally had on the rear of the 670. So I'm afraid that this one maybe, you know, the problem is they're taller than each other. So if I weld in the brackets for this and then go to put this one on, it's going to kick up the rear end, you know, because I'm going to set this so it's a tiny bit, just a tiny bit uphill. So when you sit down, you know, your weight of your body should compress it back down. Now I just need to decide which shock is going to be best for our application. If one front shock would work, which I'm kind of thinking would be what we should go with. But like I said, the worst thing about that is this tab will stay the same because I believe, yeah, these are the exact same size bushings and everything. So the tab that I weld back here is going to be fine, but the tab that I weld up here, you know, would have to be, the holes would have to be taller. So now I got to figure out how I'm going to do that and which one I'm going to use. The mounts for it. Still quite a bit more because I, of course, keep adding things to it. But a subscriber had a good idea to put Nerf bars on it like a four-wheeler, so I got those all built. Looks like it is bent a little bit. Oh yeah, so now here's the original arms for this luggage rack. So what we're going to try to do, we're going to weld some tabs onto the arms right here and probably have to cut these down. And all this is a round piece of pipe that they've hammered flat. So we'll do the same thing, just probably not as pretty. If we need to shorten them, which I'm sure we will. So if we flip them around backwards, I could actually just weld tabs. So now we can make the brake mount.
Is this gonna bump into this one?
Yeah, that's what I gotta test. That's why I'm gonna do the brake mount first. So I'll just change gears there, sweetheart. That's bigger than that. Ain't that silly? That's bigger than that. Okay, we gotta get this out of the way. So before we mount this luggage rack brace, we need to make sure our brake is going to clear. That's the most important thing, is having a brake and not having luggage. So I got this almost 1/4 inch thick of steel. Got to make sure the brake isn't going to hit, the rotor isn't going to hit the housing, which that's good right there. And if we slide this to about right there, we can weld this on there, and that should be golden. First I'm going to pull this off, and just weld it on the workbench. Then we can put it back on there and weld it to the swing arm. So we got the Trike off the workbench, and she looks awesome. Look at this. It's got full suspension, and it feels super smooth. It feels just like you're on a four-wheeler bouncing around. I am in love with it. So I bolted the original seat back on for now, and this luggage rack is bolted up here, but not bolted down here. So what I'm gonna have to do is cut this pipe down and then re-flatten it back out and drill a hole and put some tabs right there so it'll be out of the way of everything. But I think it looks awesome. And I kind of like the original seat on there. We are going to put the gas tank and seat on it in a day or so, but for now we're going to ride it with the original seat. So I need to make some tabs for this luggage rack next. We're going to have to pull that swing arm off, because if I stand on the Nerf bars and really shake side to side, it feels like the swing arm's flexing a little bit. So what we're going to do is, I'm a pack rat with metal, so my brother's work was throwing a ton of sheet metal away, and this is some thick stuff. So what I can do is cut this down the sides, and it already has this bend in it that'll hug that pipe on the swing arm. So I can basically slide it right up against it, trim everything down, and then fully weld this to the swing arm. We're going to be taking the RBG off and the gussets we put on it, just because this is going to cover it up. There's no point in leaving them. And, you know, I knew that wasn't adding any strength to it. It was just going to look cool, but I figured it'd be strong enough, but it's not. And then I'll add also a piece of sheet metal on the bottom, and that'll really make that a big unit that's strong. Then to beef it up, also, we're going to be putting, this is a 36-inch axle, and we're going to be putting a 40-inch axle. So, you know, 4 more inches of width. It's going to kick the tires out to the ends of these axles. So just that little bit of axle length will make it look a little bit better and give it a little bit more stability. I know people were saying that in the last video, that it looked like it might flip easy. Then to protect the axle from bending, because people was mentioning that, we're going to put 2 more of the Go Powersports axle bearings. Of course, if you need any axle bearings, go to Go Powersports and use my discount code Redbeard, because we put these on every freaking thing. We put 5 of them on the 670. So we're going to have 4 on this. The way we're going to do it is, basically, there's going to be 1 on each side over in this area. And then how we're going to connect them is we're going to take 2 of these Go Powersports grab handles. We're going to cut them in the middle and widen them. And basically, it's going to be welded. You know, we'll probably cut this and crimp it down. Weld it to that one, it'll go across, weld to the other one, and then probably do it on the bottom too. And the bottom one will work as a sprocket guard as well. So I think that'll work out pretty well. And then it'll come down and weld to the swing arm somewhere. So we'll get all this done and show you what it looks like, and hopefully be able to throw the engine on it after that, because and I did cut the engine plate off, so we're going to be using this Go Powersports engine plate. And the reason we're using this one is because we want to put the 301 on it later. We're going to throw the 196cc back on it, and this works for the 301 or under. So this will not work for the 420, but links will be for all this stuff in the description below, of course. So I guess let's start cutting some metal. I got to fully weld the shock tabs up here. They're not welded all the way, they're just tacked. So I'll fully weld that, and we'll get the rack mounted solid. Then we can pull the swing arm off, stiffen it, and put the new axle bearings and new axle on it, and get a lot closer to riding this thing. So we was pulling Grayson's 4-wheeler apart to build his go-kart, and these was the handlebars off of it. And I think they're going to look a ton better, and we don't need the handlebars that far forward anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and swap those out and see how that looks. And we still are waiting for the fork setup to go back on the camo bike. Coleman just, I need to get with a certain person at Coleman, and I haven't been able to get in touch with him because I'm tired of the camo bike looking dumb and sitting over there derelict, not being used. So we definitely want to get that thing running as soon as possible because it's just, well, it's just in the way. Look any better with these?
I think it looks the same.
How dare you? So, I think that's about right there. Oh gosh. There we go. And there we go.
The black looks better than the tan.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay. Yeah, it looks a lot better with that black and the red. This almost looks like a fire bike, especially with the diamond plate gas tank. It reminds me of Dizzy's fire bike. You can go check that Dizzy's channel out. Dizzy gave me my first shout out. I got my first 500 subscribers from him. So thank you so much, Dizzy. Wouldn't have, oh my gosh, I stripped it. Wouldn't have none of this without him. That's for sure. He's a good fella. He's a good old fella. Yeah, it looks a lot better. I'm really scared of these handlebars because you guys will see in Grayson's four-wheeler teardown video that frame of that four-wheeler was broke completely in half right here, and he never wrecked it. It was a brand new four-wheeler.
He did wreck it.
Well, he wrecked it once, but it wasn't a bad wreck enough to break the frame. He flipped it. It wasn't enough to break the frame. Becky's giving me this look like she knows. But I took everything off of it, and then when I threw it outside, the frame broke in 2 more spots. Metal should not just snap throwing it willy-nilly. That's like me throwing this camo or this mini bike outside and it's snapping the frame. If I seen that, I would never ride one again. That is dangerous. The frame freaking snapping, and I'm probably going to stiffen this frame a little bit more because of how hard we ride it, but we're not worried about that right now. Alright, so I cut this little square out. Let's see how my measuring is. You know, not the best in the world. It'll work. Then there is a gap right there. We can lay a piece of steel in there to fill that up. Don't like doing that, but I'm gonna have to do it on this. Yeah, I'm gonna widen this hole just a hair so I can move this over just a little bit more, and we should be golden after that. I thought something was weird. I accidentally hit my wire speed and turned it up to 9. Alright, proceed. So I got this whole thing welded out like a son of a gun. I am going to stiffen the bottom just to make sure. I probably shouldn't because this is overkill like crazy, but I always do stuff over. So there's that plate all welded on there. I had to weld this gap. I didn't. Normally I take little pieces of metal and fill in the hole and then weld it, but that's just weld. This side doesn't look as good because I had to go around this, but I'm happy with it. I think it looks absolutely awesome. Yeah, that was a big fat gap. That was like a 1/4 inch of a gap. So how I did this was I put a weld all the way the length of this angle iron right here, and that made the gap a little bit smaller. And right here where the gap was the worst, I put 2 welds on top of each other. Then I started from here and I went down and filled it all in. But I think it looks freaking awesome. I'm excited about it. I'm not going to weld this just yet, this butt part, because I'm thinking about coming I don't know. I'm gonna look at it for a minute and decide. I always way over engineer things, but I've never had a weld break or anything I've welded break, so that's a good thing. I think it looks better like this than with the RBGs and the gussets. I just didn't like that too much. It looked kind of cheap, so
I liked it.
Well, that explains it.
It was cute.
It looks cheap. That explains it. I can still get in here and tighten up the axle bearings and whatnots and what have yous. I should have plenty of room. That's why I really don't want to close this up down here, because I have room if I need to.
Well,
I don't know.
Just
Not
leave
sure.
it open.
Don't tell me what to do, please. Do not tell me what to do. Probably don't need to. Like I said, that thing is welded like Fort freaking Knox. And gussets. This is Redbeard's Garage. We're going to slap gussets everywhere. We're just going to... we're throwing gussets all over this bad boy.
Hey, in case you haven't heard, we have a patron wall now. $5 pledge. Get your name on there.
$5. That's a bargain, because that's a nice wall right there.
Let's look at it.
Look at my handprints, my grease handprints on the wall. Did you notice that?
Yes, I did.
Did you notice it?
$5 pledge.
That's a bargain. You can't spend $5 at McDonald's and get a value like that. That's for sure. Redbeard's Garage is powered by GoPowersports.com. GoPowersports has a huge amount of awesome go-kart and mini bike parts, and when making your purchase, use the Redbeard discount code in the upper right-hand corner of your shopping cart to grab yourself a sweet deal. Hit that subscribe button and make sure the notification bell is on so you'll never miss another episode, and go check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Pinterest to stay up to date with the channel. Guys, always come back to Redbeard's Garage. I'm out.